we can talk about the supply for labor. Now, basically, who supplies the labor? We say households, people. They are the supplier of labor, simple as that. So, what motivates them? So, in this idea, we're going to talk about wage, obviously, motivates them. So, the quantity of labor or quantity of hours worked, how will that work? So, basically, what happens is when the wage rate is high in the market, labor who is sitting at home thinks sitting at home is too costly. I am giving up too much amount of money. I should work as much as I can. लेकिन अगर मार्केट में वेज रेट कम है तो द सेम पर्सन थिंक्स घर पे बैठ के चिलिंग करना इज मोर वैल्यूएबल टू दैम. So, as a result, what happens is that the supply for labor is something like this. It's an upward sloping curve. Let's talk about what the reasoning behind it. Let's say abhi current wage rate is WO and the number of hours a per individual is willing to work is QO. When the wage rate goes up, worker is willing to work more hours. Why is that happening? We say because when wage rate goes up, quantity supplied for labor goes up because the opportunity cost of leisure time is higher because you're giving up more. Leisure तुमको महंगा पड़ेगा अब. So you're gonna think घर पे बैठना is not a wise decision for you. It's costing you more. This leisure, for example, I wake up in the morning. I have to go to work, but I think I'm too sleepy. I should sleep. I should sleep in. But then the thought comes to my mind that if I don't go to work, I'm gonna give up about 4,000 rupees, and so I'm gonna think to myself, 4,000 rupees, is that worth it or not? Okay, especially with time, when I get promotions, this 4,000 will become 5,000 and 7,000 and 10,000, and that's the amount of hours that I will have to give up. That's the amount of money I will have to give up. So I'll say, no, 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 let's get up, let's go to work. Okay, so opportunity cost of leisure time becomes too much. If the wages goes down, the opposite happens. If the wages go down, then the quantity supplied for labor goes down because one thinks, I'm gonna just give up very little amount. I'm gonna give up lesser amount. So I can sleep in, you know. That's how we say a worker thinks. So in your course, ये तो एक बात हो गई. एक क्वेश्चन अगर आ जाता है कि if wage rate goes up, then a worker is willing to work more hours. According to this diagram, that's true. If the wage rate goes up, a worker is willing to give work more hours. But what happens is there's another supply curve in your course. It is called a backward bending supply curve. This backward bending supply curve works kind of like this. Just like your supply curve above, it has a moment where it goes like this. What's happening? Wage goes up, quantity supplied goes up for the labor. It's following it. But interesting thing what happens is that after a particular point of number of hours and a particular wage rate, after this point, it moves this way. It starts to go back. What it shows is that as the wage rates are going up, now the worker quantity supplied for labor actually goes down. In A2, we're going to have a much larger discussion on this as to what is going on over here. It has something to do with the substitution and the income effect, but hear me out very carefully as to what is happening. Basically, what they say is that wages are going up, when wages are going up, technically the worker's income is going up. Okay? If wages are going up, a person's income is going up. So there are two factors that come into play over here. One is what we called is a substitution effect. Substitution effect is that when the wages goes up, one person thinks in his head, the wages are higher. If I'm sitting at home, that leisure time is going to costing me more, so I should give up my leisure time and work more hours. Okay? Give up leisure time and work more. ये हो जाता है सब्स्टिट्यूशन इफेक्ट. You follow? लेकिन जब मेरी इनकम्स भी ऊपर जा रही हैं तो आई एम थिंकिंग इन माई हेड, सिंस माई इनकम्स आर गोइंग अप, I can purchase more goods and services with it. So can I sit at home and relax also? Because remember, leisure is like a normal good. The more income you make, the more chilling you want to do. Isn't it? If you're going to become richer and richer and richer, you're going to say, now I can relax more and I can chill more. तो इनकम इफेक्ट ये बोलता है कि if income goes, wage के साथ if income goes up, then person will go for more leisure time. If wages goes up, income goes up, and as a result, leisure will rise. अब बात ये हो रही है कि at this level, what is happening more? Is substitution effect happening more or leisure time is happening more? When the wages are rising, a person is working more, so you are saying that people are working more and chilling less, so substitution effect is greater than the income effect. That's why you're choosing to work more hours. But on the other hand, after this point WOQO, what's happening is that wages are going up and you're working less. What that means is that now your priorities have changed. Now you're saying substitution effect is less and income effect is more, because a person is thinking, I'm making good amount of money, I can afford to chill more than work. Now this usually happens at a very senior level. When you reach a higher management, a CEO or director levels, then you feel that, you know what, I'm making decent amount of money, I should go to club and health exercise and spend more time with my family and stuff like that, so you can actually afford that with the passage of time. So this would be our idea for a backward bending supply curve. So we're going to deal with changes in the supply curve, what causes the supply curve to increase or decrease. Basically, we've already suggested that this is generally our supply curve. It's an upward sloping supply curve. With the rising wages, a person is willing to work. Let's say at WO, a person is willing to give this many hours. What can encourage him to work more hours? Meaning, what can cause the supply of labor to increase? Okay, this is an increase in supply. And then there can be factors which can cause a decrease in supply. Okay, a leftward shift. As we can see at this wage rate, less people are willing to work. So, what causes these changes in the supply for labor? Changes in supply for labor. Well, some factors like changes in the size of labor force. लेबर फोर्स क्या होता है 16 to 65 के अंदर जो लोग विलिंग हैं काम करने के लिए obviously if your size of labor force increases the supply for labor will increase as a result of that. We say other factors that can actually cause the supply for labor to increase is maybe productivity. If labor productivity increases, they can earn more incomes, and so they are willing to supply more hours naturally because they're going to be able to make more incomes for themselves. Certain occupations के net advantages बढ़ जाएं. Net advantages of an occupation. For example, it could be job security, it could be the number of holidays that you're getting, it could be the insurance or these kind of things that you are getting. So इस किस्म के अगर तुम्हारे जो फ़ायदे हैं किसी नौकरी के अगर वो बढ़ जाएं तो definitely more people will be willing to join. उसके अलावा it could be the skills, education that is increasing in your economy. If these changes, obviously, then more people can come. For example, if more people becomes educated, the supply for doctors can increase with the passage of time because people are, training themselves, वगैरह. Right, so these could be some of the factors. There are more factors like अब ये जो size of labor force की हम बात कर रहे हैं, there are many reasons that can cause the size of labor force to increase. It could be because of migration, labor coming into the country. It could be because of the birth rate versus the death rate. उसकी क्या situation है? If birth rate is greater than death rate, obviously the supply of labor is going to increase because more people will come. So these could be just some of the reasons through which the supply of labor can increase or decrease.